What's up, everybody? This is Jordan Smith with iProv. As always, I've got my very smart and talented co-host, Patrick Laughlin, COO of iProv. What's up, Pat? How are you?
What's up, Joe? How are you today?
Good. I used to introduce Pat and say lovely, and then he told me he wasn't sure how lovely he was. So,
well, I mean, according to my youngest daughter, I'm getting better looking as I get older. So maybe lovely's appropriate.
Well, she's a very nice liar. That's awesome.
Yeah, she also told my wife that she mentioned that Daddy's got a growing bald spot too. So I'm lucky that no one can see the top of my head on camera. The mouths of babes.
Oh, that's funny. Well, hey, the topic today, I think you guys are in for a treat. We are going to talk a little bit about hyper-focused prospecting. So I know everybody, we say this all the time, every organization, every business is in the business of sales and marketing. So you should have some sort of prospecting engine, whether you actively manage it or actively do it or not. So we just want to talk a little bit about that and just some things that we picked up along the way that might be able to help you guys.
Joe, I want to turn this on its head too. I want to focus this, since I've got you here, a very seasoned and senior salesperson. And you know me, I'm an operations guy. I came from the creative department. Any sales I had were strictly from, a little bit of account management. So prospecting was never super high on my list, except from like a strategic standpoint. Mm-hmm. So what's your take on how senior salespeople, guys that are in a sales manager or sales VP role, what's their role in prospecting?
That's a very good question. And I think it depends on who you have from a team perspective. I'm a big believer that everybody needs to prospect, no matter, even if you're not in the sales part. We talk about this to our staff all the time, and sales has kind of a negative connotation now, but anytime you meet somebody or talk to somebody, you're not only selling yourself, but you're selling the company. So I would say one of the first roles is making sure that you are empowering your staff and doing everything that you can to help them from a prospecting perspective. So tools, time, role plays, just being there from a support standpoint, I think is an important role. Secondly, so there's two parts of this. Same thing that I said a second ago. Sometimes if your sales manager, VP of sales, sales director, whatever you want to call them, if they're still not doing some active prospecting, or if you're in one of those roles and you think that that's not part of your job, you're wrong. You just need to be prospecting in a little bit different way.
So tell us about how they should be prospecting, because I'm going to guess that guys in your position are not, making a couple hundred dials or sending out a couple hundred emails every day, and nor should they be. That would be a total waste of their talent.
Yep. My thing is, that's when we start talking about kind of focused prospecting. So let's say you do have a team, right? Yeah, they're your whether cold callers, dialers, email, LinkedIn Connect, that type of thing. What senior members should be focused on is a very precise list that rotates in and out. And we talk about this too, having kind of our top 25 list and making sure that we're touching each one of them every single week in some form or fashion. Whether that's a LinkedIn message, an article that you liked, something that you saw that they're doing as an organization. Hey, we saw that you posted this on Facebook. I think this is great. But it's more of that kind of long-term relationship type of sales with hopefully a more expensive prospect list, a group of people that kind of meet a very specific criteria that if you got them would be one of your top 5 to 10% of clients that you want in the door.
Well, so you mentioned relationships. How important is it to leverage those relationships for things like internal referrals? So like, if somebody, knew, Jake, our social media manager, and asked him, hey, who makes the buying decisions for X, Y, and Z in your company? And he tells them, well, if it's sales tool, related, it's probably Jordan. If it's, accounting or project management stuff, it's probably Patrick or Darla. How important is it to leverage those relationships for those kinds of internal referrals?
I feel like it's very important. You're not always going to get right to the top of the chain, right away. So, I always say you gotta build a relationship with the individuals, but you also need to spend time sometimes building a relationship within the organization. And that doesn't mean, having a drinking buddy or just going out and playing golf. We talked about this before, but it's about being very deliberate as far as the type of relationship that you're building with them.
Do you have your salespeople sort of build out maps for prospects? Like, if you have a relationship with somebody that's at a lower tier or a somebody who can't say yes to a purchase decision, do you have them sort of actively mapping out the org chart for the prospect so that you can start to find those people in the organization that can say yes?
Yeah, I mean, not only mapping out kind of the org chart and who makes decisions within that organization, but also mapping out what your specific touch points are going to be are very helpful for me. Even the best organized salespeople, I love you salespeople, even the best organized one of you are friggin' messes. So it's organizing what those touch points are going to be, so kind of laying out not only a map of who you need to talk to and where the hierarchy lies within the organization, but pushing that aside and also mapping out what those specific touch points are going to be and how are you going to add value every step of the way. What are you sending to them to either build upon that relationship that you have or build the confidence that they can pass you up to the next person on the org chart if you need to speak to them. I think both of those things are very important.
Well, that's a good point. I know that there's sort of two schools of thought when it comes to sales management too. There are like the guys who are the Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross guys. They focus a lot on activities. How many dials did you make today? And then there are sort of a more nurturing sales management where it's really just focused on the results. And if you can, do it in 2 emails in a meeting, that's fine. I don't care about the activities that got you there because what I care about is the results. What do you think is most effective?
That's a good question. Results are the thing that matters, right? That doesn't mean though that everybody should have free will to do whatever they want to do. So I say you manage on activities, but you judge on those results. Especially with new employees, the only thing that you can have new salespeople, new sales staff, a new company that you outsource prospecting or sales to, I would say the only thing you can judge those people for in the beginning, first 2 months or so, are those activities. But if somebody's getting results, yeah, I always say I'm tactically agnostic, right? I don't care how you. Yeah, I don't. If you find something that works, as long as we're getting the results, I'm fine. So, I would answer that, not one way or another, absolutely, but I would say it's a healthy mix of the two. And if you've got somebody that's delivering the results, a lot of the times you can duplicate those activities that they're getting for those results to be able to pass along to the next guy.
So, you do a little bit of account management in our company, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but what in your opinion, what's the role of, especially senior people in sales, doing account management? Is that valuable or is that sort of a waste of their time?
No, I feel like it's valuable, but again, going back to being deliberate about what the intentions are. I don't think they need to be in every planning meeting. I'm not in meetings where we're talking about copy or what but popping in and making sure, again, because especially if you brought that client in, you've got that relationship. Most organizations, if you're working on like a monthly recurring kind of model, you see that a lot of your new revenue is going to come from existing clients. So popping in and making sure that relationship's still nurtured, that they still feel close to you, But hopefully, God willing, they're also going to be your best referral sources. So making sure that you maintain that relationship, not just purely from a new revenue standpoint, but because chances are they can introduce you to 4 or 5 people that you might not have a relationship with in the first place. So I would say it's important, but you don't need to be there day to day. You'll see a lot of salespeople that want to just because that's easy. They're already my friend. I'd rather talk to them than convince somebody that they should be my new friend. So it's a balance, but I would, I'm touching some of our clients monthly. I, probably haven't talked to some of them in a few months. So it's a balance, but I would say a little bit, but being deliberate about what the purpose is for those.
So having a role in that world is sort of a valuable prospecting tool for senior sales staff.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool.
Okay. Everything should be with the intention of prospecting. It doesn't always necessarily mean 200 calls. That doesn't mean 50 emails. That doesn't mean 20 LinkedIn messages. It can mean whatever that means. But I would say prospecting, there is no product, there is no client without prospecting. So client meetings are fine as long as it's some prospecting method, either prospecting for new revenue or prospecting for new people who can pay you new revenue. Phone calls are important, but only if you're going in with the purpose of prospecting and making a new connection. Building a relationship is important, but only if it's for the purpose of either prospecting that person, prospecting their list, or maybe you're prospecting their mind for some different things. But I always go back to everything should be with the purpose of getting in front of new people.
Nice. Well, Joe, thanks, man. I appreciate the sort of coaching.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for letting me talk about sales for a little bit, but always be prospecting, ABP. So no matter what you're doing, if you just keep that in mind, then you're going to be fine. And we talked about being genuine too. There's some more philosophical stuff that you can play in there, but tactically, build out for these larger organizations, build out org charts. Tactically, as far as like how you're going to touch them, build out kind of a mind map as far as what the process is for getting in front of these, high tier clients that you as a sales manager or somebody that's high up in a senior sales position should be focused on. You should not be concerned with trying to touch as many people as possible. It's how many valuable touches did you get? Yeah. And being there, and we haven't talked a lot about it as far as, kind of supporting staff, but, be there for them. Weekly, daily role plays, daily check-ins, weekly. Pat talks about it all the time and it's kind of a joke, but, and I don't want to say fragile, but that's the only word that's coming to mind, which sales folks are a mess and we're a lot more fragile than you think. So we do we need some help. We need some coddling. We need some encouragement. So keep those things in mind, and I think you're going to be okay.
Well, great tips, Joe. Thanks for sharing.
All right. Hey, everybody, have a good week. Comment below with any kind of sales tactics or sales books. We love those things. We read them as a group. I'm not again, we talked about everybody in our organization as a salesperson. So we love those type of things. So let me know if there's books or videos or that type of stuff that you read where you've gotten some tips. Also, let me know if you disagree with me or agree with me. I love conversations. So, and if you know anybody who'd be a good guest on the vlog, we're going to start having more guests on here as well. So like, comment, share. Let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help. And until next time, peace, peeps.